Well, welcome back to Sam's Classic Arcade. Today we're going to talk a little bit about tokens. And about 10 years ago I converted my games over to tokens, and I'm using the HAPS coin mechanics that will allow a 984 token and a quarter both to be accepted by the game. So ever since then I've been using tokens. And of course I got these 10 years ago from HAPS. I had a whole lot more than I used to. Like anything else, over time they sort of disappear. Some of them are in the machines, need to be cleaned out. But anyway, I got this, I think it was a planter where you put a pot in, and it's brass or simulated brass colored anyway. And I've been using it for the last 10 years, and everybody just reaches in and grabs a handful of tokens, and it's been working out really well. But I've always wanted a token machine, and around here they're hard to find, and if you find them, they're expensive. They want a lot for them, and most of them are so big and heavy, like the old row machines, the kind that you used to find in the arcades back in the 80s most of the time. Those things are like a safe, you know, and they take up a lot of space. So I thought about getting one of these smaller compact kind, and you can find some fairly cheap from time to time. But I decided to go another route. I decided to build one. So what I have here is, I got most of these parts off of eBay, and I got a coin harper, which is for quarters, but the way it's designed, it will also work with the 984 tokens, which are just slightly larger than a quarter anyway, and it'll also work with the smaller 900 size tokens, like Namco size tokens or Cinemark tokens. I've tried those in it, and they work fine too. Okay, so I got this coin harper off of eBay, and a Seiko NH1, and I'm not sure what they originally used in. I don't know if they're in slot machines or some other type machine like that, but anyway, it runs on 24 volt, has a 24 volt DC motor, and all you have to do is put tokens or quarters in it, hook 24 volts DC up with a push button, and it'll, as long as you hold the button down, it'll eject quarters or tokens. But what I decided to do was make it into a real token machine. So what I did was, I found this place online that is in Australia, and they sell a little board, and it's a Teleflex Universal Harper Controller TF-B1AS. And here it is. It's just a little board, and it comes with the wiring harness, and all you got to do is just wire it up. They have a real nice PDF file on their website that you can download that gives you the directions of how to wire it up, and it's very simple, and it works real good. And it's like anything, it has dip switch settings that you can set the payout for whatever you want. And what I did was, I wired it up, and of course you have to have a 12 volt relay, and I have a power supply, a Peter Chow, which is a 24 volt DC power supply and a 12 volt DC power supply built into one. I used the 24 volt for the Harper motor, and I used the 12 volt to power the board, and it also powers the switch, the proximity sensor switch, which is located up here in the Harper, which actually hooked up to the Universal Harper board will allow as many tokens to come out to pay out whatever you preset it to. So right now I have it set up on just a regular push button, and every time I push this button one time I get 4 tokens. I also have a ICT bill exchanger or bill mechanism, and that's set up to take $1, $5, $10, and $20 bills. I got that off of eBay too, and it works. It's a 110 volt model, so you plug that into 110 volts, and then it has 2 wires comes off of it, and those 2 wires are the wires that you hook up to the, right now they're hooked up to the same button. So the way it's set up, if I put $1 in here I get 4 tokens out, and if I put $5 in I get 20 tokens out, and so on and so on. So what it does is it sends, when I put $1 in, it sends 1 pulse out, and the board is set up for 1 pulse. It kicks out 4 tokens. So that's the way I have it set up right now. So I can either use it by putting the bills in the bill exchanger, or I can put this button on it and have it set up for free play. So all you gotta do is just press the button and you get 4 tokens out. I also found this on eBay, this coin return, which came off of an actual row coin machine. So I'm going to incorporate that into the cabinet. Next thing I have to do is build the cabinet. Right now I just put it on a board and wired it all up to make sure that it worked. One other last feature I have is got one of these electronic coin counters, and so with it hooked up to the board, it will tell me how many quarters or tokens have been dispensed. And I filled this up with quarters, and it'll hold roughly 1,000 quarters. So that's $250 worth of quarters. Tokens, since the 984 tokens are a little bit bigger, may not quite hold as many, but it'll be somewhere close around that. So let's go ahead and load it up and test it out and see how it works. Okay, first thing we need to do is go ahead and load the tokens up into it. Now we have the tokens. Let's turn it on. And the neat thing about this coin counter, it has a built-in memory, so when you turn it back on, it knows how many tokens you've dispensed. But this one has a reset button on it. So I'm going to press the reset button and reset it at 0. That way I'll know that when I look at the counter, I know that it'll hold about 1,000 tokens when it's fully loaded. So I'll know when it's time to open it up and add some more to it. So first let's try the free play button, and we'll push this one time and let's see what we get. There we go, we get 4 tokens, and we have 4 listed on the counter. Okay, so now let's put a dollar bill in. And there we have our 4 tokens for $1. Okay, now let's put one of the new $5 bills in. All right. and we have 20 tokens. So it's working perfectly. So and on a counter we have 28 showing that we paid out 28 tokens. So that's working fine. So proof of concept is there. I now have a fully working token dispenser where I can either set it up for free play with a push button to where you don't have to put any money in, or you can put the bills in and use it as a full-fledged token machine. And now all I have to do is go ahead and build a case for it. Now, since this is going to be in my home arcade, I'm not going to make a steel case. I have a piece of steel for the front door because I'm going to have to bolt the coin return and bolt the bill exchanger onto the metal door. But the rest of it I'm just going to make out of regular particle board, just like an arcade cabinet. And I figured I would go ahead and just make it basically a square or rectangular box. I may cut some grooves in it and put some T-molding around it like an arcade game. Really hadn't decided yet, but that's going to be the next step. So now I'll just have to sit down and put that together, because like I say, it's just in the home arcade, so it's not like it's going in a arcade where somebody might bust the thing open to get at the tokens and the cash in it. But of course, one this size, it would only hold at maximum $250, which is a lot of money, but you know, I guess people will bust things open for a lot less. So, but I don't have to worry about that in the home arcade. So until we get the next step done, we'll come back and show you the finished product.